Right then, valve timing on an MGB. Chris is about to show you how it's done, and I'm here to provide what passes for moral support. Now, before we begin, let me say this. If you've never done this before and you're feeling confident, that's actually a warning sign. This job requires attention, patience, and the ability to follow simple instructions. Three qualities that seem to be in short supply in the average shed. But I digress. Chris has got his B-series block here, beautifully stripped down. Cranks in, cams ready, and that timing chain is installed. Looks simple, doesn't it? That's the trap. The entire point of this exercise is to ensure your camshaft and crankshaft rotate in perfect harmony. Think of it as a mechanical ballet, except instead of tutus, we have timing marks, and instead of grace, we have the constant threat of a rough idle, decreased power, poor fuel economy, and misfires. Lovely. First up, positioning the crankshaft. Number 1 piston at top dead center. Chris will show you the marks. Pay attention to them. They're not suggestions, they're commandments. Get this wrong, and your engine will either run like it's got emphysema or not run at all. Both outcomes are suboptimal. Right, camshaft sprocket time. This is where things get interesting. Those timing marks need to line up with the crank marks. Chris is demonstrating the correct alignment. See how methodical he's being. That's not because he enjoys taking his time, it's because he's done this wrong before. We all have. The marks face each other. They align. They're meant to be together. It's almost romantic if you're the sort of person who finds precision engineering romantic, which, let's be honest, you probably are, or you wouldn't be rebuilding an engine in a shed. Chain goes on next. Watch how Chris routes it around both sprockets. Nice and neat. The tensioner. Ah yes, the tensioner. That spring-loaded device that's either your best friend or your nemesis, depending on how cooperative it's feeling today. Today, Chris will be manually tensioning the chain to position the timing marks in their correct position and orientation. Note his technique. Now here's the critical bit. Rotate the crank through 2 complete revolutions. Watch those marks. If they come back into alignment at TDC, congratulations, you've successfully set valve timing. If they don't, well, you get to do it again. Character building, that. Chris makes it look easy because he's done this approximately 8,000 times. You're doing it for the first time, or possibly the second time after getting it wrong the first time, so don't expect the same level of zen. Double check everything. Verify those marks. Make sure nothing's binding. And please, for the love of Lucas, don't skip steps because you're pretty sure you've got it right. Pretty sure brings us right back to an engine teardown. Once it's done, you'll have the quiet satisfaction of knowing your MGB's valve timing is spot on, set by your own hands, in your own shed. That's worth something, that is. Right then, pay attention to what Chris is showing you. Take your time, don't rush. And remember, the marks don't lie, but you can certainly misread them if you're not careful. Good luck, you'll probably need it.
Hello everyone, thought I'd do a little series of shorts on very basic engine building stuff for people who've never done this before. I've done this 1,000 times setting up cam timing, so for me it's second nature. But if you've never done it before, there's a lot of little subtle nuances in here which you could get confused by or overwhelmed by. So we're going to start with what we have here. It's an old 4-cylinder MGB engine, a BMC B-series engine. Overhead valve, which means you've got the camshaft in the block. So we're not talking about overhead cam engines with timing belts. We're very, very basic, old-fashioned 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder V8s. They're all very, very common. If it's got a timing chain, it'll probably have alignment marks on it. There are a few exceptions before you start shouting at me in the comments, but most of the time you'll find you've got camshaft, crankshaft, you've got a dot there and a dot or an arrow there. And the idea being to set the cam timing correctly, they should all be in a straight line. Now, one of the things you've got to be aware of is that this mark here, because it's on the crankshaft, means number 1 piston is at top dead center. You can't get that wrong because they're joined together. So as long as you've got that mark there, number 1's at top dead center. If you try to do it with number 2 or number 3, that mark would be round here. So this is where you start with number 1 piston, top dead center, your mark there. and then the camshaft mark here, and then it's slid on the cam there. Now, if I get Laurie to zoom in a little bit, what we use is a straight edge, and we draw a line, a theoretical line between there and there, to show that you've got the marks actually line up in a nice straight line. I could show you from out here, but then it's not going to make quite so much sense on camera. Here is actually a better view. Now, you normally have to set this up if you've had the engine completely apart and you're starting with nothing, and you have to set it, or if you're replacing the timing chain, because they do wear. Now what you'll find is that this side of the chain is the drive side. If you can imagine, as the crankshaft's turning this way around, it's turning clockwise, it's dragging the camshaft round. So this side of the chain is always tight, and the camshaft tensioner pushes against the side of the chain just here to take all the slack out of it, so it doesn't rattle around. So when you're checking your marks, make sure you just push on that side of the chain to make sure the camshaft is all the way around as far as it needs to be, so that this side is tight. Now, if you want to adjust it, what you need to do is to take this off, turn it round a tooth, and then put it back on again. Now on this engine, the crankshaft pulley here, or gear, is quite tight. So I've got to use a little lever to give it a bit of help to come off. And you'll see there's no nut in the middle of the camshaft. So what we can do at the moment is just wiggle that off. I'm going to push this out just a little bit more. And you can adjust it by moving the chain round one tooth like that. And you'll see what it does. Moves your pointer around. Now, if we go back the other way, it should come back. Oh no, I've slipped on that one now. There we go, I've got back in the right position. Because this is twice the diameter of that, because this turns at half the speed of this. That's what makes a 4-stroke cycle, makes the valves open and close at the right time. So if you want a coarse adjustment, you can go one tooth on here. If you want a finer adjustment, you can go one tooth on here. So what we need to do is go back to where we were, which is about there. Get the camshaft sitting back there. And then, as we're putting it back on, we'll tap this back in as well. And then push that on the last little bit so we can get the nut on. Now there is a tab washer to go behind here to lock it, but I've not put it on because we're just setting up at the moment. That will go on afterwards. Right, now to confirm we've got everything in the right place, I can't just leave it still and guess. What I have to do is turn the engine over one full revolution on the crankshaft, and then what should happen, this should come back round, sorry, 2 full revolutions, yeah, 1 revolution of the cam, 2 revolutions of the crank, and then check that these line up again. That the way we've confirmed we've got everything in the right place. So we've got a nice big bar, and if you bear with me, we always go clockwise. So we're pulling the camshaft and the crankshaft in the right direction. Right, so that's 1 full turn of the crankshaft, and you can see that marks up here now. So now we go around another full turn of the crankshaft. Come back to about there. Make sure we've got the slack on this side. We'll put our straight edge across here again. And then hopefully you can see that the dots line up again. I'll come in a little bit closer. I'll come on the back edge there. Just there, there and there. And then you can see that our little arrow, our dot and the centre of there all forms a nice straight line. So now we've got everything in the right place. The last thing to do will be to take that off, put the lock tab behind it and lock it up. So that's basically cam timing on a 4-cylinder engine. For people who have done this before, why are you bothering showing such basics? But if you've never done it, it can be quite overwhelming. So I hope that's been useful to some people. If it's not, okay, we'll watch the next one. We'll do cam belts next time, which is a bit more involved, a bit more to it. Hope you like it. See you again next time. Bye now.